We have spoken about it. We discussed it earlier in a few sessions, but we had not gotten deep into what it is, how it impacts our lives, what it looks like, and how do we deal with it. So today we are going to discuss about those aspects of these relationships. So welcome to all the new people also who have joined us for the first time, and thanks to all of you for being here. In these sessions, guys, we keep these conversations open. So we are going to give an overview of the topic and share whatever we have experienced and seen through these many years. So whenever you have any questions, you want to share your experiences, stories, please feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself and you can talk. So we are going to keep this conversational, and we would be really happy if all of you just come forward and share and talk. So welcome. And Akarna, anything you want to add before we go forward?
No, nothing. Yeah, we can go.
Cool. So before we give an overview of the topic, any of you would like to share what do you feel this term is about? What does it mean by karmic relationships? What's your understanding? Yes, Pramosh.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. Uh, Anamika, hi, and yeah, I'm glad to be here. I just came across this post, and I'm joining this session today. Can you hear?
Good to see you. Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, Anamika, this topic has been very curious. For me. So as you asked, the basic understanding, I believe any relationships that give us pain and suffering are our karmic relationships. So yeah, that's what
Mhm.
I feel.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for sharing, Pramosh.
Hi.
Seema, you want to say something?
Yeah, hi Navika. Thank you for giving me a chance. So currently, karmics are the relationships that I feel is the relationships which are actually giving us a hard time. I will not say them that they're giving us the pain. I feel they are the relationships which are like giving you great lessons which you have come to take in relationships maybe. And I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but in the twin flame also, it's not necessary that the twin flames will be just there to trigger each other. But sometimes in twin flames also, I think there are karmic debits that both has to give. So this is what I feel and I understand by karmic and twin flames. And the soul family is, it's like not necessarily the loving relationship. It can be your brother, sister, aunts, uncles, somebody who you are like easily can talk to, who you are like feeling so connected, loving. So the
Mhm.
you can feel that they belong to your soul family. So to me, that is what karmic, twin flame, and soulmates are.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Seema. Yeah. Who else would go? Apurva, you want to say something?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I was just going through with the word karmic. So just one thing which arose in my mind was the reputation of something. Either it's over a person or over the relationship. So reputation of anything negative or or downfall or the same pattern which is being repeating again and again is all about karmic. So that's what I feel.
Right. Sure. Thanks. Thanks, Apurva. Um, yeah. Stuti, anything to add?
Yeah, so my question is, aren't all relationships karmic?
Hmm. Very good question. Yes.
Because
Let's
I
see.
think I have each person for a particular reason in my life. Maybe
Hmm.
because of whatever, probably it was something that I need to pay them back in this life, or something that they need to, kind of, I need to repent for whatever I did to them in my earlier life. With every relationship I see, group, whether it be my mother or my father or my husband or my daughter, everywhere I see this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Let's see if there all of these relationships are karmics or how it goes. Ashwini, anything to add from your side?
So I feel, or rather, I have been told recently that the soul passes through multiple lifetimes and multiple different births, and as we do karma in each lifetime, we collect residue, and then we are also trying to, which form sanskaras, and we are trying to wipe them off in each birth. Meanwhile, we keep accumulating residues, and in this whole process, the souls bunch together or tend to bunch together because we are carrying a residue towards each other, and that is what I think is karmic relationships. I'm not sure if that is the real truth or that is the entire truth or correct definition.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see how it comes up in the conversation. Sukarma.
Hi, this is Seema Singh from LinkedIn. I got here. My Gmail ID is Sukarma, hence that's appearing here. So, to my understanding, nothing in life happens by chance. Everything has a reason, and so also every person we meet in the life, there is a reason behind it. We can only make the best out of it with our own present karmas. So the relations exist. So this is what I feel. That's my little understanding. Thank you.
Thank you. Cool. Yes, Sharad.
Yeah, see, these karmic relations are, for every individuals or a human life, there will be ups and downs. Okay, there will be a turbulent in a relationships, and so much dramas also in the relationship. That is a part and parcel of the life. So we need to accept that, and that is where I feel like karmic relations will be there.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Sharad. So let's begin the conversation. One thing that
hand is up.
Okay. Yes, Asha, anything?
Hi, this is Asha here. I recently joined, and this is my first session. Regarding karmic relationships or karma, my understanding was different these days, and right now I'm reading a book by Sadhguru on karma, and it has a different take on that totally. Karma, all these days, according to Bhagavad Gita and all, it's like our own doing. Karma means action, that's what it says. Even this, it says the same thing, but here it says it is our own doing, whatever the karma. It says we just use our own volition to make our own karma. It is like our own design. Whereas we generally think in spiritual parlance that karma is our previous birth's doing, right? Good or bad, whatever it is. So based on that, relationships, I would say karmic relationships are those relationships which are destined, which comes our way. That is what I was thinking. But right now I'm still halfway through the book, and it has a different definition to karmic relationships. And today is my first session here. And today when I saw the heading of the topic, I was really, it's somehow, I felt it was serendipity. I'm just waiting to listen to more what it is there in store for us.
So Asha, different to what? You said this book has a different definition. Different
to karma, according to Sadhguru, I'm still reading the book. I'm still halfway through.
My question is different to what? Different to your definition or?
No, different. See, according to Bhagavad Gita and in our spiritual parlance, that is in a Hindu way of living, they say karma is one's like previous birth's karma. See, suppose I'm a cancer survivor. Okay, I had cancer, but I used organic food. I used to eat. I used to do exercise. I used to go to the gym. I had a very healthy lifestyle. I never smoked, nothing. But why did I get cancer? That they say is karmic design. That is your purva janma karma. That's what they say. Okay. But according to him, this book, this karma, says that it is not purva janma karma. It says it is in this birth you're doing. So I'm just still exploring. I have no clue, but it's totally in contrast to what I was thinking. So I'm just waiting to listen to what you people are going to say.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't read that book, so I cannot actually comment on it, but it's interesting to
Yeah,
hear.
but this book is very good actually. If you read this book, it
I'm
is so
sure.
much relevant to present day times. Instead of blaming it on our will, destiny, fate, and things like that, this book,
Hmm.
everything is your own doing, which is very practical, hands-on book. I'm still halfway through because this book is a very intense read. You can't just finish it in one go. It is something which you have to read and reread. So I'm rereading it, but then I think perhaps at the end of the book, maybe I'll be able to next time, maybe next week or something, maybe I'll be able to add more to you to this.
Yes, yes. So we'll be continuing this series of conversations for at least next, 3 more conversations.
Okay.
So we will get more time to, talk about
Sure,
this.
sure, sure, sure. I'm
Twin
waiting.
flames,
I'm
soul
waiting.
names,
Yeah,
everything coming up.
yeah, I'm waiting. Thank
Cool.
you.
Cool. Thank you. So thank you everyone for sharing your views. Now, there was one thing that, Suti shared, that isn't everything karma, isn't everything all the people that we meet in our lives. Somebody also said that nothing is accidental. I guess Asha only said it. So nothing is accidental, nothing is a coincidence. Everything is happening, the way it is meant to happen, right? So in that way, everything is is a karmic relationship, right? Again, when we go to a twin flame definition, then we see that two souls which separated themselves and came and took this incarnation again. So in that case also, if we go to the absolute sense of anything, there's only one being, right, which just manifested in different forms. So if we see in the absolute sense, then everything that exists is just the karma and just the result of everything that has happened, right? But what we are going to discuss now, coming forward to the way we live and how we are where we are right now. So that is one truth, and that is true, of course, the absolute one. Now each of us have to live our lives and have to, the purpose of being here is to evolve and to is to live a good life and is to learn lessons and is to go closer to what our true nature is. All these things being, different goals of a soul which comes up in the process, and how our journeys are. Now, the way, let's suppose we talk about science. So, in science, we understand there's one way of understanding any scientific discovery is through the absolute term, through, the surface level truth or the topmost level truth. Another way to understand is by understanding the parts, one part at a time, one bit at a time. So, likewise, all of us are here, are bits, and we are on different journeys, exploring different areas. So, in that way, each of us have different relationships we are encountering, different experiences we are encountering in our lives, different unique ways of thinking and perception and perspectives. And likewise, we get different kinds of relationships and attract them in our lives. At the absolute level, everything is same. But the thing is that we live in a dualistic reality, in a relative reality. And to go through our life, it is also important that we accept that this is also the truth and live, make use of all these things, tools, and everything that is there to evolve. Right. Now, what are these karmic relationships? So, one very good thing, I guess, who said Ankita shared, I guess, or Apurva, either of you guys who shared that a repetition or pattern, right? So when we talk about karmic relationships, these relationships are involve a deep karma, negative karma, deep wounds. Somebody used the word sanskar, right? So there are many different types of sanskars, unlimited, countless type of sanskars. Each soul carries, all of you, me, all of us carry different sanskars. Now, there are certain kinds of sanskars or karma that we carry, the wounds that we carry, that come up in our lives so that we could clear those karmas. We could, heal those wounds. We could clear those karmas, and we could, get a closure onto it, right? So to heal those karmas, we attract these karmic relationships in our lives, right? So these karmic relationships are not very easy. They are very painful. They can be very troublesome. They are very what should I say? They induce a lot of triggers in us. We get triggered, and we are in so much, hurt, and we are in pain in these relationships. And they come up in our life for our evolution. So all these relationships where we see a lot of ups and downs, a prolonged drama involved, always conflict going on, and always two people, shadowing each other and triggering each other, and continuously, that ups and downs are going. There's no stability. The space is always of the space of drama. Then we can say that, okay, this is a karmic relationship for me. Now, in these relationships, codependent patterns, even trauma bonds, even all these kind of, different codependent patterns get created in these relationships. And another characteristic is that it's so hard to get out of these relationships. Even if we are aware and we know there's something wrong, this is not going in the wrong direction, in the right direction. Some red flags we are seeing here and there, everywhere we are seeing it. Yet, it is so hard for us to get out of this, because the repetition and pattern in which we are involved in these relationships, right? So we get stuck in these relationships because it's so hard to understand. And it's so hard to understand that, why am I not able to get out of this? We know that we need to leave this person, and it's just so hard, because the bond has been formed in a way we feel familiar to that person, as if we know that person. Of course you know that person, because in your previous life, maybe you have already dealt with a lot of drama together, a lot of conflict together, and you have spent lifetimes together. So you know this person. Now you have come forward to clear the same negative karma, or deep karma wounds that you have accumulated with that person, which are now coming up in this birth and require cleansing, right? So I'll share a few more characteristics of what karmic relationships look like. So there's a lot of connection. In case it is a romantic partnership, then there's a lot of sexual passion involved in it. And the connection is not the connection which makes you feel calm. It makes you feel excited. It gives you, it fills you with a lot of excitement and pleasure and passion, and wanting to, go with this person, live with this person, be with this person. In the beginning, when we get into these relationships, our intuition sometimes tells us that something is wrong, but then we are still not able to stop ourselves. We somehow see that, okay, maybe this is not something I want to do or I need to do, but then still it's so hard to stop ourselves because there is so much familiarity, right? Another characteristic is, throughout these relationships, you feel very dense. You feel very low on energy. They don't make you feel very light. They make you feel very heavy. It's hard to feel safe in these relationships. There can be a lot of trust issues, a lot of codependency issues, a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, and yes, people say that twin flame relationships have very similar, characteristics. Yes, very similar characteristics. But one way to figure out the difference between a karmic relationship and a twin flame relationship is that a karmic relationship only shadows or mirrors the worst in you, right? So it will always make you feel bad and heavy and dense. And even if there is a chance that some love bombing is involved, very temporary. It's going to be very temporary in nature. But when it comes to a twin flame relationship, there will be arguments. They will also show you your truth, but they will also nurture you. They'll also make you feel very light on energy, very happy, ready to go forward. So the fights and arguments are not prolonged. They don't go on forever, like in karmic relationships. Now, karmic relationships are not just about romantic partners. They can also be with parents, children. They can also be with siblings, or they can also be with your friends you meet for some time, or any casual partnership, or different people you encounter in your life. So it's not just limited to romantic relationships. It can also go on with different kind of relationships where you feel so familiar with that person, but it's just so heavy and it's just not feeling right. So this is what a karmic relationship looks like. Now, what to do in these relationships, right? So we will move on to what to do in these relationships further. But before that, any of you would like to share anything you could relate to, any pointer, any experience of yours, or anybody is getting any question? Please, Tuti.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, one of the instances which I remember, it was from my mother's memory. So, my maternal grandmother used to tell me that when my mother was barely able to speak, okay, when she couldn't even learn how to speak sentences, she used to tell my grandmother that she had committed suicide in her earlier janma, and she was based out of Calcutta. And I mean, those were the times when probably maps also were not, they didn't even know, they just heard what Calcutta was all about. So since the beginning, she used to tell like this, that she committed suicide and she was from the Calcutta. And my grandma used to shut her up. Yeah, she used to get scared of, knowing about this. And my entire life, somehow, I have seen my mother suffering to an extent that I won't even want any enemy to suffer to that an extent in every phase of her life. Till the time she died also, she was in so much suffering, so much pain that we actually had to beg God to take her away. That was how things were. So somehow, when I hear of karma and of relationships and whatever relationships she was into, nothing whatsoever worked out good for her. So that was one thing which I felt, I don't know whether we'll be able to relate to it or not. And second thing, I had a question here that, Anamika, when I look at my relationship with my husband, I feel, again, it was quite similar to an extent that we knew each other, we got into it. I thought, he was not the best one, but still somehow we went for it. And since the beginning, it caused a lot of pain in terms of intimacy. We never were intimate. There were distrust issues, there were cheat issues, there were so many things, so many fights and everything. So, but everything was there. But then the only thing is that, is it karmic or not? My only question is that.
Right. Maybe not. I mean, we'll have to look into, some more deeper details into it before we can say that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the pointers which I shared, if you can actually experientially relate to most of the pointers, then there's a high chance it could be one. Right. Because we don't know the exact picture and your situation, but you know it. So you will have to see if, how these all pointers look like. Right.
There is something, one pointer which I can share from my side. These three relationships types that Namika shared, karmic, soulmate, and twin flame, very distinct characteristic or criteria to say is, in a karmic relationship, only one of the partners will grow. The other partner will not grow in that relationship. The other partner will just be the trigger for one of the partners to grow. So that is an indication of a karmic relationship. In a twin flame relationship, both will grow. Both will trigger each other, both will grow. And in a soulmate relationship, nobody grows because just feels too nice. This soulmate relationship is just very nice. There is no triggering happening. Nobody is triggering anyone. It's just a very nice relationship. Not much evolution happens in a soulmate relationship. It just feels good. That is one clear distinction that I know between these two.
Yeah. Who would like to go next? 𝗕𝗹?
Yeah, hi.
I think the hands are shown in the same sequence that someone was raising, so we can just go by whoever's hand is next up. Yeah, so Apurva is the next one. Apurva, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I just want to add one question to the content that Anamika has already said. Like, if it comes to karmic, it's repetition. So if I guess everyone whoever is there in this karmic type of relationship or relation, they are suffering with the repetition process, right? With the pain, with anything, any trigger or anything like that. So how can we stop it? Because it's really very hard sometimes to come out of it. And every time going too below down the line and coming up, pulling yourself to the level like जमीन से खुद को खींच के लाना वापस फिर से survive करना, it's very difficult. And every time sometimes even we feel like नहीं यार अब होगा ही नहीं, now it's done, अब नहीं होगा. But that trigger is not stopping it out. वो रुक ही नहीं रहा, वो रिपीटेशन में कहीं ना कहीं से somehow वो हो ही रहा है. तो उसको रोक कैसे सकते हैं अपने लिए? क्योंकि हमें खुद को बचाना है, मतलब लाइक हमें एक अच्छी लाइफ, मतलब खुद को एक पॉजिटिव वे आउट में लाइफ को लेके जाना है, तो उसको हम रोक कैसे सकते हैं? इस रिपीटेशन को रोकने
बट
का क्या प्रोसेस है?
उसको रोकना क्यों है? क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि व्हाई यू वांट टू स्टॉप इट, व्हाई डोंट यू वांट टू हील इट?
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, मतलब स्टॉप इट मीन्स इसको खत्म कैसे करना है, ये ठीक कैसे होगा?
हाँ, तो ये दोनों बहुत
मतलब
डिफरेंट
ये
क्वेश्चन है ना. इफ यू
हाँ
से कि उसको
आपकी
रोकना कैसे है, तो अवर फोकस इज ऑन एक्सटर्नल पर्सन कि उसको कैसे रोकूं. बट
नहीं
इफ
नहीं
द
नहीं
क्वेश्चन इज कि
नहीं
हाउ
नो,
डू आई
जस्ट
नॉट गेट ट्रिगर्ड,
it's just like yeah, exactly, yeah, that's the point. So I just want
देन
the answer for this.
हाँ, तो इफ द क्वेश्चन इज दैट हाउ डू आई नॉट गेट ट्रिगर्ड, तो उसके लिए तो फिर बैठ के देखना पड़ेगा कि वेयर दिस ट्रिगर इज कमिंग फ्रॉम. So it is not something which you will get an answer by just reading books and watching YouTubes and listening to gurus and all that. ये सब बातें सही है, ये सब जरूरी है, ये कर लिया, लेकिन बैठ के उसको डाइजेस्ट भी करना है. So nobody can do contemplation in your place. You have to do the contemplation to figure out कि ये कहाँ से आ रहा है. तो इतनी सब नॉलेज इकट्ठी करने के बाद उसको यूज भी तो करना है ना. तो वो मिसिंग होता है. वी हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड दिस अगेन एंड अगेन दैट पीपल have accumulated so much knowledge, but still they are having the same question कि करना कैसे है. बैठो उसके साथ. So sit with it and see where it is coming from. Ask the hard questions to yourself. कि ये usually these are the mother wounds or father wounds, inner child wounds. कुछ तो बचपन में कुछ हुआ, and all these traumas that you are carrying. So ये रिफ्लेक्ट बैक करना बहुत जरूरी है कि ये कहाँ से होना शुरू हुआ, कब, when was the first incident in your life that you started feeling this way, how this happened. So you have to go back and you have to revisit those incidents in life and see how this was forming. and then you see the reasoning behind that. See how this was forming. Then that formation needs to be dissolved. Now, this is what I would say. This is like a brain surgery, and I've always recommended that don't do your own brain surgery. So take someone's help in this. Let someone else guide you with these questions. Let someone ask you these questions, and you just only answer. Because when we are in this mode of reflection and contemplation, we go in a certain trance.
Yeah.
And in that trance, if you're also trying to be your own coach and your own surgery therapist, वो नहीं होता. Because you cannot be just putting two hats at the same time कि मैं therapy भी ले रहा हूँ और खुद की therapy भी कर रहा हूँ at the same time. ऐसे नहीं होता है. So have someone to help you. Let someone just say कि मुझको ये अब dissolve करना है, अब ये बहुत हो गया. अब this has just been bugging me for so long. It's just repeating for so long. और ये dissolve करना कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज नहीं है. ये बहुत जल्दी हो जाता है. Most people struggle with this thing. Once again, same thing. क्योंकि अपने brain की खुद ही surgery कर रहे हैं. YouTube देख रहे हैं कि कैसे सर्जरी करनी है, वही अपना ब्रेन खोल के बैठे हैं और वही अपनी सर्जरी खुद ही कर रहे हैं. एंड देन फाइंडिंग इट कि ये बहुत हार्ड है, बहुत टाइम लग रहा है. लगेगा, हार्ड है ही. उसका मत करो, ये बहुत जल्दी हो जाता है. It doesn't take too long. Just have to do it the right way.
But Karma, how do we remember such old things? Like as you said, when did it
start? You do remember. See, again, in psychology, we call these things as defining moments of our life. When you are put in the right state of mind, when you are asked the right question, आपको वो इंसिडेंट ऐसे फटफट याद होंगे ना, वो ऐसे आएगा ना. अभी वो भूल जाते हैं. लाइक हमें कॉन्शियसली वो चीजें भूल जाती हैं. लेकिन the reason they are called defining moments, क्योंकि the moment you are given a command to go back to that time and you are asked the right question, you will recall that incident. और ऐसे recall करोगे कि as if you are living it all over again now.
Yeah.
There has to be the right question to be asked to take you to that moment.
Yeah. That is why when we see, hypnotherapy or past life regression going on, so people are able to actually recall, whatever they have gone through. Like maybe somebody has a fear of drowning in the water. So they're able to go back to that event and recall when they felt that way and how they felt. Right. So, and, the more you go deeper and clear it, people even go back to, their past lives and they see their past lives, and that too as if, it's like a movie, as if it's a movie going on. So these things can happen, do happen, but yes, the process has to begin of, clearing and cleansing. So slowly, when we see these first small things and maybe one big thing and then small things, and then in that process we start clearing these things, creating the path to see what has happened, where it is coming from, why is it happening. Okay, who else had a question? Yes, Pramosh.
Okay. So, yes, I've trying to make my understanding about karmic relationships. So, just wanted to ask one small thing first. That can we still have a karmic relationship with someone whom we have never met, never contacted, never spoken in this lifetime ever, but that person has has affected your life in a very major way? So what this could be? Is it a karmic relationship? I don't know. I mean,
yes, possible.
Yeah.
Yes, possible. Okay.
Totally possible.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So these soul contracts, soul agreements, when the karmic agreements are made, so it's not necessarily like I have to do something with you so that to impact your life. So if in case My karmic relationship was, let's suppose, with somebody in your family, right? And still, I never meet them, I don't deal with them, but I just deal with you. But their life is getting impacted. That is also a soul contract or a karmic agreement.
So maybe the term karmic relationship is an issue. Usually we refer to it as karmic connection. So it doesn't have to be relationship as in father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister. So it's not that it has to be a name given to it as well. It's a connection. It's a karmic connection.
Yes, and one more interesting thing about this is that, we our courts are not, our courts are kind of connected to everything. We are a part of the same source, but as this form, as this soul's journey, where we are at this point of time, our courts are connected only to certain, souls which are there in our vicinity, let's say. So in these cases, the cord connections are not usually from coming out of love and coming from the heart center. They're more coming from, places, if it is a romantic connection, from the sacral center, somebody who makes you feel powerless, then from the plexus center, somebody who threatens your survival from the root center, different places, but not the heart, not reach the heart level, right? So there's a cord connection which goes on. And actually, these karmic relationships or connections are coming up so that we could, dismantle that cord which we have been holding on for so long, the repetition, the pattern which is going on.
Uma Sharif, your hand is open.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. I'll just
Hello.
quickly tell you, the relationship that I've had with regarding to this. I've been in a marriage for about 17 years and have been unable to walk out of it, though I know it is toxic. But then the entry of a friend suddenly out of the blue, which no one could ever imagine that it could happen in such a way, happened so well that, it triggered, transformed, and not just transformed myself completely as to, I was down in the dumps and had lost my entire personality, was crushed because of the toxic marriage that I had. And yes, I did emerge, and it was only after that, suddenly when I landed in our country and I just come across things like twin flame. I never came across something like karmic. It was like later. And there's so many things that I could relate to that twin flame thing. Of course, I'm a much better person now. I'm at a lot of peace, and thanks to you both. I was always wondering what's the thin line differentiation between the karmic and the twin flame, because you go to so many people and you ask them, and some say this and some say that. So it was always a 50-50 for me. And what you guys told me, that both grow, that's one way of differentiating between the two. That kind of struck me, because yes, of course, I've been the one who's at a major beneficial level, but there are times when I've been triggering this person to become the better version of themselves. I mean, whatever was unresourceful is slowly resolving in them as well. So I would like to say thanks to you, and I would really love to know more about both twin flames and karmic, what it is, and get more clarity on this. Thank you, guys.
No problem. It is a very confusing subject, because
of course it is.
Karmic and twin flame, initially it is very hard to differentiate, and because it is very hard to differentiate, our psychology is such that we would always want to choose the better one. We wouldn't want to just say, okay, I'm in a karmic relationship, because it just feels better to believe that maybe I'm in a twin flame relationship. So that's a very common misconception and mistake that people make initially, because it's so hard. Both of them have, it all starts, both relationships starts with toxic masculine and toxic feminine. Toxic masculine, toxic feminine attracting each other. Both can have an element of abuse and all that. a lot of violence and a lot of hot and cold, coming close, going away, and all that. So साथ भी नहीं रह पा रहे, अलग भी नहीं रह पा रहे, and that's very different. It's just that's an element of both the relationship. But if we now overlook all these things and we go further, then one distinction, as I shared, one distinction is that in karmic relationships, one thing is very common, and that is only one person evolves. And usually it is the divine feminine that evolves. Now, when I say divine feminine, doesn't mean always the woman. The femininity in a man could be high as well. So there could be a relationship in which the woman is operating more from a masculine side and man operating from feminine side. So whatever the case is, gender, we won't talk about gender. We will just stay with feminine and masculine energy. So in both cases, it is the feminine that takes the charge of evolving. The feminine is the one who recognizes these things. Feminine is the one who actually finds out and reads about all these things and come across these things, and they take charge. And as they are working, if it is a twin flame relationship, if it is a true twin flame relationship, then any work that the feminine does impacts the masculine energetically.
Yes.
That is how twin flame connection works. But that is not how a karmic connection works. In karmic connection, any work that the feminine does has no impact on the masculine. The masculine stays the same.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that is how you know that which type. So you will only know which type of relationship you are in once you start your healing process. Because at the end of the day, both of them are there to put you on a healing path.
Right.
Both the types, actually, the purpose is for you to become the divine feminine. The purpose of both. But in twin flame, if you become divine feminine, it will inspire energetically your counterpart to also move up and start doing something. So that is when the separation and union phases starts to decrease. And then you'll come together, you will have a more harmonious union. And then one time comes when both have grown to a point where both have got out of that toxic masculine and feminine into divine masculine and feminine. That is when we call the last union, is what we call the reunion of or the divine union. That is when after that no separation happens. That is when the final union happens between a twin flame.
Right.
This doesn't happen.
In the reunion, Karma, just one question, sorry. In the reunion, do you always feel guilty of the phase that you've not been, you have always forever been in a toxic relationship, never being close to each other, and that entire reunion is spent in guilt? Is it so?
No,
it is possible that there are, see, until you both are healed, you will be operating like karmic partners. In twin flame, as I said, initially it will feel like a karmic relation only. So as you both start to heal, you both start to then come out of that phase of guilt, blame, shame, fear. All these things will start to dissolve.
Right.
But until you are working on it, until you are realizing, then it's just like any other couple, just fighting, getting away from each other. थोड़े दिन अलग रहे, फिर अलग नहीं रहा जा रहा, फिर आ गए, फिर जैसे ही वापस आए, फिर लड़ाई शुरू हो गई, क्योंकि सॉल्व तो कुछ किया नहीं है. You just were missing each other, and perhaps maybe the sexual attraction was so much you couldn't live away from each other. फिर वापस आए, फिर थोड़े दिन सेक्स हुआ, और फिर उसके बाद फिर से वही नाटकबाजी शुरू हो गई. So until the healing process starts, none of these. So until the healing process starts, all relationships are same. Nothing
No,
matters.
I guess what 𝗖𝗹𝗿 wanted to ask was when the reunion or divine union happens.
Yes.
At that point of time, if there's any guilt, there's no, not even a pinch or an inch or anything of guilt.
Yeah,
not even.
I'll give you an example very clearly. That now we never got close since the beginning. Only we had major differences, which led to both of us being in the same house apart, living apart, and because of the daughter, we were there together. for the last 20 years, that was just now at this point of time, we realize, I mean, we can't move away. We cannot, be separate as a family because of the daughter and all. We're trying to emotionally build on certain things, but then that guilt of with both of us, that, I mean, whoever was wrong, no pointing here and there, that guilt kills. So I just want to.
It doesn't
take
matter
your
what
opinion on that.
situation, what it is, that will not be there. Situation as circumstances don't matter. These two people have evolved enough to see beyond all these situations and circumstances of life. That is why they are called divine feminine and divine masculine. Now they know something which ordinary people like us don't know. So they handle life situations very differently.
Can I just come in? See, from the stage I am in right now, I don't know what to term it as, because I really don't want to get into the thing. But it's like, even if there is no communication, there is a sense that, yes, you are with me. Even if there's no communication. I mean, we've not really gone into the intimacy or anything, but you start feeling so whole with this person that no one knows you better than me. That's the kind of feeling you get. And you read them so well. You start reading them so well. And there's some kind of a comfort with you that even if you're not talking, even if you're not in a communication phase, you find
even you
yourself
may
so
not be
complete. I
physically
find,
together, still it might
yeah,
feel complete.
yeah, kind of, you feel so home with that person no matter what, and you're always operating from uh, a space of love and forgiveness. Even if they are rude to you, ultimately you end up, not being forgiving right from the heart space. I'm not saying just for the heck of it. And it's not that you can't live without this person. You would long, but you can live without this person. And you start again, I think it's a periodic cycle where you focus on them, then you start focusing on yourself, then you focus on them, you start focusing on yourself. I think this is how I can define what I'm going through. So I don't know.
A twin flame relationship, ultimate aim of a twin flame relationship is to teach you unconditional love.
Yeah, I think that is something
Now,
that I've been, learning from the whole thing.
Yeah. So
No
now
expectations. Mhm.
the problem of this definition of unconditional love is that because the way it is said, unconditional love, the way we phrase this term, it is actually very misleading. Because for most people, when we hear unconditional love, we hear removing conditions. But unconditional love is not about removing conditions. Unconditional love is about removing the one that is wanting the conditions.
Yes.
So unconditional love is about that ultimate surrender,
Yes.
that ego death phase. So हम अनकंडीशनल लव सुनते हैं और हम उसमें फंस जाते हैं कि अनकंडीशनल मतलब कि मुझे अब कंडीशंस हटानी है. So if I'm so वो conditions हटाने का मतलब unconditional है.
No expectations.
Again, same thing. We are just so saying no expectations, no conditions. Once again, that is not what it means. What it means is removing the one that is wanting all this to be removed.
Okay.
Which is about surrendering. So when you have surrendered, when you are not even there, when the ego death has happened, then the question of unconditional love, no expectation, nothing, these questions dissolve. क्योंकि वो क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला ही चला गया. जब तक वो क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला रहेगा तो वो क्वेश्चन का आंसर ढूंढता रहेगा, वो डेफिनेशंस के आंसर ढूंढता रहेगा कि अनकंडीशनल का मतलब ये होता है, अनकंडीशनल का मतलब ये होगा, शायद एक्सपेक्टेशन कम करनी है, ज्यादा करनी है, कंडीशंस को रिमूव करना है. पर कोई तो है जो ये सब चीजें बोल रहा है. द होल पॉइंट इज कि वो ही नहीं रहना है, तो ये सारे टर्म्स ही डिसॉल्व हो जाते हैं. दैट इज द होल जर्नी ऑफ ट्विन फ्लेम. It is a very expensive journey. It is a very difficult journey.
Undoubtedly.
It is not. It's extremely expensive journey. Very, very. It's too difficult. So, So unless both the partners have arrived at that point, and that's what's happening, that's a twin flame. But if one person is realizing ki I have to do this, and the partner is just sitting there the way they have always been like this, is a very good indication that you are in a karmic relationship or karmic
Okay,
relationship.
right. Ji,
We
I
have
got it.
Bhaskar, your hand is up.
Thank you so much for clarity.
Thanks, no problem. Seema, you have something to say?
I want to ask you a question here. Like in my journey, I think I was in a karmic relationship. Think me, I'm sure, because like you said, it was totally something like I can only give a justification to myself is that it is coming from my karmas, that how I went through this abuse and all, and couldn't collect much courage because the lessons were not learned. So even in being this karmic relation, I was repeating the patterns, and which was not only in this abusive marriage, but in my friend circle, with my family. So it was like a vicious end circle of things that kept happening. And finally, I don't know, maybe I have finished with my karma debts and all. So I divorced, I got into separation. Now, during my healing process, where the spirituality has touched my life, and I was not aware about anything like in terms of what is karmic partner, what is twin flame, what is soulmates. So my journey started, and I started knowing myself. It was like a self journey. There was a curiosity to understand why this is happening to me, and I thought after doing for a year or more than a year a work of mine, I still I happened to meet a person. We were like in harmony, and suddenly the triggers started happening, and it was like the triggers of the things that were like underlying the surface even after doing the work. So I got triggered so bad, and you know that underneath the pain, I can understand that it was like not healed. That has to be healed. The healing is required in that part. Now, for me, what I want to understand is sometimes there is a confusion in my mind. It's all about the twin flames and the karmic partners. Is this that how do we define that? You said that in twins also people trigger each other, right? Unless we both will be able
Very
to.
much.
Yeah. So
More than
unless.
karmic, probably.
Yeah, more than karmic. It's something that's like triggered me so much. I went down very low in terms of emotions. I was like shattered. You can say a soul shocking thing, and I couldn't handle it. But the entire process, all I could do was again and again surrendering, till the time I surrendered completely and lost complete control. I tell you, it was like so much of push that divine does. I mean, when divine decides something, and we being like operating from the ego or whatever the belief, the conditioning that happens, it's so difficult. And still, it's like my question to you is, in my twin flame journey, I feel I am doing the work. I'm mirroring my person. I don't know because we're in a separation mode, and I left it. But yeah, I energetically feel him. I know that he's there, but then I've like completely don't want to focus on him, but focus on myself, because it was like he was carrying some things that he has to do the work, and he was not in the space that he wanted to do the work. So I was trying to bring it back, which I
I'll
realized
answer.
I cannot.
I understand where you are going with this question, so I can answer that now. I got enough.
Okay.
So as I said that in a twin flame relationship, when the divine feminine is working on herself, so let's assume it's the female, then it has an energetic effect on the masculine by itself. So the indication of that would be that after separation, when you come again in union, the quality of your arguments and triggers should get better.
Okay.
If they are still the same,
Hmm.
if it is still happening, the same thing happening, the other person has not moved or has gone worse rather, it's a good indication it's a karmic relationship.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I can say. That if you have started your journey and you are working on yourself and you are seeing changes in yourself and you are not seeing changes in the other person, doesn't matter they have time or not time and all that. ये सब लॉजिस्टिकल, ये सब दुनियादारी वाली बातें हैं. हम यहाँ पे बहुत एनर्जेटिक वर्क की बातें कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, मैं ये सिर्फ समझना चाह रही हूँ आपसे कर्मा, is this मुझे पता ही नहीं है because मैंने I've disconnected after whatever the trigger and the fights that happen like a normal couple can have, because after meeting him and after this twin flame journey started, or you can say I came across things which I was like, what is this twin flame? I was knowing it but not in the depth, but then the things like messages in the meditations, many things what I
दो चीजें हो सकती हैं. दो चीजें हो सकती हैं. One is कि you might be on the right path. You are doing your healing properly, right? And if the other person is not getting affected by it, then it's a good indication it's not a twin flame connection. That's one. Second option could be that maybe you're not doing it correctly. Maybe you think you're doing it correctly, but maybe you're not doing it correctly. So that is another thing to also check, that maybe you think you have got that what you need to do, but if you're not being guided properly and if you're just doing your own DIY thing, there's a good chance that maybe you're not doing it correctly.
And I think you are the answer for that, because I believe in God a lot, and I keep everything in my prayers that you help me. And as you addressed some other women question also, that sometimes we cannot do our surgery ourselves. We need another person to put the stitches properly. So
Many times it happens, we learn about all these things and we feel that, okay, now I understand. And now I can do it.
But I also wanted to ask you, because that lady was asking me the question, I wanted to jump in and enthusiastically ask, okay, I want to understand what is this work and how does it work? Because I understand, I know there is a work to be done, these are my triggers, but then just knowing and being aware is not going to complete my work.
No, it's not going to be.
Yeah, so
you have to do it properly. There are certain practices, there are certain things that you need to dissolve in yourself. And if you are being guided properly by someone, and they know how to help you in this journey, and then you are doing it under guidance, and then if that is not making any impact on the other person, there's a very good chance it's just a karmic connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karma, I have one question.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but when you get blocked, I mean, getting blocked is something to do with karmic or
Twin flames do that a lot as well.
Okay, great. Yeah.
No,
As I said that both these connections, all these connections are toxic in nature initially. The whole point of a twin flame connection is to bring that toxicity out and dissolve it. So initially तो दोनों टॉक्सिक ही हैं और वो वही टॉक्सिक एनर्जी से ही बिहेव करेंगे, उसी से ही करेंगे, एक दूसरे को इंसल्ट करना, अब्यूज करना, ब्लॉक करना, ये करना, वो करना, ये सब चलेगा. ये सब जैसा कार्मिक का होता है वैसा ही चलेगा. लेकिन जैसे जैसे आप अपने ऊपर काम कर रहे हो और इस चीज को डिसॉल्व कर रहे हो, और अगर फिर भी दूसरे पे कोई इफेक्ट नहीं आ रहा है, और आपका जब अभी अगर सेपरेशन में हो, फिर यूनियन में आते हो और फिर वही सब शुरू हो जाता है, देन अ गुड इंडिकेशन कि वो ट्विन फ्लेम नहीं था.
Okay.
One thing I will add to twin flame relationship here is the difference between a karmic and twin flame relationship. Another difference is that obviously the karmic relationship is not your twin flame. So they are triggering you because they are triggering something within you. But when a twin flame triggers you, they are not triggering you because of their wounds or anything. They're triggering you because they are mirroring you. Right. So you understand, they are part of the same soul. Right. So it's like two same clones standing in front of each other. Right. So they're always mirroring like this something, let's suppose I don't like about myself. Right. So this person is always constantly showing me what I don't like about myself. Constantly there's a mirroring going on. So the another important point is that a karmic relationship is also for evolution, but that evolution does not mean that you're meant to be together, or meant to go on this journey forever together, right? But in a twin flame relationship, two people are meant to evolve together and reach that state of divine union. So in karmic relationship, you evolve, you move forward. In twin flame relationship, you evolve to a point where you are ready to, get into the place of your own divine feminine or masculine, and then experience the divine union. So the intention of placing these two connections in our journeys are very different. Very different. So that is why, one person evolves
Just
in a
one
karmic
question,
relationship.
please.
Please, Apurva.
All these three relationships are different, or either they even get a twin flame can be a soulmate, and further like that. I mean, they can change, or they are just fixed to the things that if someone is a twin flame, they will remain as a twin flame forever.
I didn't get your question, Apurva.
I just want
Can
to
you
ask,
please?
there are three relationships, right? So all three are different, like karmic and twin flame and soulmate. So all these three are different, or they even get changed in themselves. Like
They
a
don't
karmic
change.
relationship.
No, they don't change.
Okay. Does the karmic
They
relationship
stay,
become a
they
twin
stay
flame?
different.
No.
Yeah.
If it was a twin flame relationship, it will feel like a karmic relationship in the beginning, because the triggers and the abuse, the insults, everything will be very much feel like a karmic relationship. But the nature of it will not change. If it was twin flame, it will stay twin flame. If it is karmic, it will stay karmic. If it's soulmate, it will stay soulmate.
Because the purpose of these relationships in our lives is to learn certain lessons, right? So you cannot learn a twin flame lesson from a karmic partnership, and you cannot learn a karmic partner lesson from a twin flame relationship. I'm not talking about healing, right? I'm right now talking about action-based lesson, right? Like the lesson which you had to learn, let's suppose from a karmic relationship, is to move out of the relationship, or is to set healthy boundaries. And in setting that healthy boundary, you lose the relationship. You're okay with losing that relationship, right? And in the twin flame relationship, the lesson is probably not losing the relationship. The lesson is looking within and evolving. And both the twin flames are there reflecting each other, because they are mirrors, and that is why they evolve together. Because just imagine two souls which are a part of one soul. One is evolving. How is it possible that the other will not evolve? Because they're always constantly reflecting each other. So the one evolves, the reflection goes into other. The other evolves, the reflection goes into the first one. Always mirroring each other. So one person evolves in a twin flame relationship at the same, maybe आगे पीछे हो सकता है, can be sooner or later, some way the reflection can go forward or backward, whatever way possible, but they are evolving together. In karmic relationships, it's not so. That is why they are, codependent relationships, and they are even these relationships where we see a lot of trauma bonding happening, a lot of conflict bonding happening. They don't evolve together, because the intention of that is not to evolve, but to learn the lesson how to deal with that conflict. So that is where they.
Ritu baby has her hand up for a very long time. Ritu, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, sir. I have one question. That I was in a relationship and it ended around few years ago, and yes, sometimes I feel like last year I came to know about this karmic relationship, that is all come due to our karmas, or we have some karmic things. So I just want to ask that if like right now I'm not into any relationship. Even I'm not looking for any alliance or something, because I know there are some father and mother wounds. Even the thing you defined, there is some defining moments. I'm able to assess that as well. Like last year, I came to recall those moments. It was all started in the, when I was 3-year-old. So I would really like to know that is it possible that we work on ourselves and then we get into the relationship that can be turned into a soulmate relationship or something, or is it like still you will find that twin flame only or something like that?
See, um, I'll answer this question in a different way. That whatever stage in life you will be at, whatever wounds you are carrying, at whatever healing point you are at, whatever vibrational stage you are at, that is the kind of person you will attract in your life. So, whether that is going to be a soulmate connection or a karmic connection or twin flame connection, we don't know. What we know is that whatever you have become by now is the kind of person that will get attracted. So that's the thing. Like it's not that now you will only attract these kind of. There could be so maybe your karmic lessons have not finished. Maybe you have done one karmic relationship, healed yourself, and it is possible that you still have more to learn and more karmic debts to pay. So that doesn't mean that कि एक हो गया बस अब आगे नहीं आएगा कोई. There is no such as कोई rule written तो नहीं है. So we don't know how much karmic debt you are carrying and how many relationships you have to go through to clear that debt. Ultimately, we what we can do is that we use these relationships, we use these triggers to keep becoming a better person. The intention of all these types doesn't matter, soulmate, karmic, or twin flame, doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, they are coming in your life to teach you something, to take you somewhere, to evolve you in a certain way. If you are in a twin flame relationship, let's say, for example, if someone is in a twin flame relationship, but they refuse to do any work on themselves, then they have pretty much reduced the twin flame connection to a karmic connection only. क्योंकि उनको वही experience होने वाला है. They will just experience a twin flame connection as a karmic connection. Keep arguing, keep this union separation. यही चलता रहेगा until you get up and you take control and you say, no, I need to look into this and I need to heal this. The decision to heal is the only thing that will tell you what type of relationship you are in right now. Until you decide to heal, all relationships are just same. There's no difference.
So, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. So that is what my next question was. Supposing I behave like a layman who doesn't know what is karmic, what is soulmate, what is twin flame, and wherever I am in my journey, I take a decision that I want to work on myself. Enough I had attracting all kind of too much of pain, too much of same patterns. What and how one can define that? If we have to actually define it in some way. I mean, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I didn't get the question. What is the question?
So I'm trying to ask, supposing as a person, normal person, I don't know what is twin flame, what is soulmate, what is karmic, okay? Wherever I am in my journey, I only know about the frequency and vibration. So whatever frequency or vibration I'm vibrating at, I attract people according to that in my life. And then whatever is happening, that's basically kind of lessons maybe I have not learned, so they are getting repeated as a normal person. And what if I decide that whatever is happening, just forget about that. This is my journey and I want to do some work on me. Enough I have attracted wrong kind of partners and all. I want to just work on myself. So how do I define myself in this entire process of twin flame, soulmates, karmics? I want
You
to do
don't.
work on myself.
Why
Huh.
do you have to define
You
yourself?
don't have
Yeah.
to define
It
yourself.
doesn't matter if you know these terms and vocabularies or not. So this is one way to understand it this way, but this is not the only way. There are many ways, and it's not that we know about this, so we are special, and the people who don't know about this are not, or they are not, they are left behind in their journey. So these all are just words.
Yeah.
Healing has to happen even if we know about these or we don't. So at the end, the responsibility to do inner work is upon us only, and nobody else can do that about us. So it doesn't really matter, right? So
It doesn't matter, because like we are keep saying that at the end of the day, your job is to work on yourself and heal. These terms help you, because many a times when we are suffering from these kind of things, we want to know the answer, ये हो क्या रहा है मेरे साथ.
Yeah.
So उस केस में ये terms could be helpful for you to know कि आपको किस टाइप की बीमारी है. पर जो भी है इलाज तो करना ही है, तो focus on that rather than focus on the terms.
या सो ट्विन फ्लेम में ऐसा भी हो सकता है ना कि एक पार्टनर जैसे फीमेल, सपोजिंग फेमिनिन, सपोजिंग वो मैं हूँ, तो मैं पहले वेकन हुई तो मैं अपना काम कर रही हूँ. मेरा तब भी क्वेश्चन यही था कि मुझे ये नहीं जानना कि उन पे इफेक्ट हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा. बट व्हाट इफ माय अदर हाफ decides not to do the work, then it becomes like a normal relationship, right? That you have already
then it's probably not a twin flame relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
अगर आपको ये ख्याल आ रहा है कि मैं अपने ऊपर काम कर रही हूँ और उसके ऊपर कोई इफेक्ट हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है, तो फिर टू बी ऑनेस्ट, आपका फोकस आपके ऊपर है ही नहीं. आपका फोकस सिर्फ यूनियन के ऊपर है.
Yes, exactly. You're right. Obsessed.
हाँ, you are obsessed with that. So twin flame journey is not about union. Twin flame journey is about shining your divine feminine. क्योंकि जब आप उसके ऊपर करने लगते हो ना, ये क्वेश्चन ही ड्रॉप हो जाते हैं आपके, ये नीड ही ड्रॉप हो जाती है.
And any healing journey, any inner journey is not about the result, and especially not about the result on the other person, right? So even if
Anamika, I don't know where I am in my journey, nor I like to define it, because what I'm liking the most about is this, that whatever is happening, it has a reason. Divine has a plan for everybody's journey. We all are in the, wherever we are supposed to be, we are there in the journey. That's my biggest belief, because it's nothing to do that I'm awake and somebody is not. So whatever is happening, whether he's my twin or he's doing the work or not, I'm happy that I got awakened, and it's high time that I want to get rid of certain things in me. In the sense, the traumas that I have not healed, the problems that I have in all the relationships, it's within me. It's not anybody else. It's the work that I have to do. It's something that I have left it just like that. You know, the pain that I've gone through because of traumas, they are so deep within me that it's because I have started my journey and awakening and my work. I can address few of them, karma. I'm able to work on few of them, but on certain things, I'm just stuck. I don't know how to process my emotions through it, how to be out of it. So definitely when I say my prayers are answered, I randomly was like searching today and was so upset that I'm like stuck. Now what? Like I know this. I can do this much work by myself. But then who to trust and how? And this is how your workshop, this so-called meeting comes up. And I'm like smiling and I'm like, you surely know how to put me on the track, right? So I'm not at all like feeling bad or sad that, oh, I'm apart from him. There was a time when I was obsessed. There are times when I still think about him. I miss him, but I've accepted that part. That missing factor is the kind of love that I have for him. But there is no sense in me now to to control it, to have it in my life. Only thing that I want is I want to work on myself. That's it.
Okay.
Whatever
So
it
that's
is.
good, Seema. You realize that, and I think we need to move to other people. There are few more people who got their hands up for a very long time. So I want to move to them. So Pramosh, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, Akarma, thanks for giving me the chance. Okay. So sometime back also I asked a question. So now all these discussions we are having now is like very, very deep, for me to as a layman also to understand all this. Right. I mean, maybe I'm trying my best. I've heard all these terms. So Akarma, I'll just share, on my, experience of what has been and how I want to. So what I want to ask is, okay, so I was into I mean I had a 13 years of marriage, okay, and I have a kid who is 8.5 years old. So I feel I was into this marriage for 13 years. It was a typical arranged marriage. So what I've understood and identified was that this was a karmic relationship, okay. So then so it's 4.5 years I've been separated, okay, and the reason my ex-husband cheated on me and just abandoned me and my kid, right? So yeah, and then he is filed for a divorce. So it's 4.5 years that this person, like my ex-husband, the father of my child, is never contacted my child, never been in touch with me, or everything. So obviously I've gone through a very traumatic experience, being into depression, being into counseling sessions and lot of stuff, because 4 years back my child was 4 years. So now that I'm not in contact, we don't have a relation, right? Only the legal case is going on because legally I've not got my divorce. So does this mean now here my karmic relationship has ended here?
Your karmic relationship will end when you have learned the lesson that karmic relationship was there to teach you.
Okay.
Have you learned the lesson?
So yes. So I am I am unable to understand what lesson I had to learn.
That
Because,
you only have to answer. That's what.
Yes.
That's the whole.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You have to sit. Have you sat with yourself and you asked that question to yourself?
Yes, I mean, yes. So it's been 4.5 years. This initially, I have, yes, there are certain things, we all have certain weaknesses and, there's certain possibilities and, so yes, I mean, I'm still trying and learning and understanding all these things, but how I've evolved and grown like emotionally as a person is that, from that, I don't focus or think about that person only. Because there were so many questions, why this happened. If somebody has cheated, right, 13 years of life and abandoned you and your child, so I just thought that every the choice, so this person made his choice.
The lesson? That's okay. You've explained the situation.
Yes.
My question was, what was the lesson you were supposed to learn from this? You said that you know what lesson you were supposed to learn. What was it?
So I mean, probably I don't know, maybe no, I'm not able to really clearly understand what was the lesson, maybe.
Okay. So then that's until you learn that, then this is not finished.
Okay. And as long as, so as long as the hurt also continues, because I still get haunted dreams, the moment I see this person in my dream, and I've come a lot.
It will continue. The person is not physically there in your life, but whatever has happened, whatever has caused this, and whatever hurt has been created, it has not been dissolved. You have not asked this question that what was this setup trying to teach me? मुझे क्या सीखना था इसमें से? तो आपको क्या सीखना था? जब तक आपको वो पता ही नहीं चलेगा, तो सीखना तो दूर की बात है, अभी तो आपको ये भी नहीं पता है कि सीखना क्या था. तो फिर तो ये पूरे सेटअप अभी तक ये वेस्ट तो नहीं होगा ना. द यूनिवर्स डजंट वेस्ट एनीथिंग. तो वेस्ट कुछ नहीं होता है. हम भी मर जाते हैं तो हमारे भी पूरी बॉडी डिसइंटीग्रेट होके 5 एलिमेंट्स में चली जाती है. तो देयर इज नो वेस्टेज. यूनिवर्स नेवर वेस्ट एनीथिंग. सो ये भी जो सिचुएशन आई है, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू गेट वेस्टेड. तो जब तक आप सीखोगे नहीं, तब तक ये जाने वाली नहीं है कहीं पे.
Yeah, absolutely. So I probably, the only one element, which the not problem, that I am over trusting with people, so this thing that I over trusted somebody, more than my own self, to the moment. So this is one thing, of course, I'm sure there are so many other things as well. So who can, whom do I reach out to, or how do I sit and introspect that, what else I have to learn, because this, this has been. Yeah.
One of the things that we have, you joined recently in the group, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the
Okay.
yeah. This is my first session. Yeah.
First section, and you also joined the group recently, also, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there are two things that we have always said to people. That one thing is either you work with a coach and let someone guide you to this, and let them work with you, so they can ask you the right kind of questions, and you basically sit and answer the questions. Right? So that's one option. And if you want to approach us for that, you can just write us separately, and we'll take that offline from this.
Okay.
Second option is that we have created a lot of e-learning journeys. So these journeys are same as how we do one-on-one coaching with someone. But instead of us doing a one-on-one coaching, we have created it in the form of journeys. So one of the journeys which comes to my mind for you is we've created a journey for attachment styles. So there are
Okay.
4 types of attachment styles. 3 of them are insecure attachment styles, and one is a secure attachment style. So the first thing that you have to figure out for yourself is which of these is your attachment style, how it was formed, and how it plays a major role in your relationships. And there's a 21-day journey for that. It has introspection questions, contemplation exercises, and all that is there. It's a 21 days journey that will take you to complete. So take that journey, sit with it. It will you would have to spend, let's say, 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
And 21 days is laid out, day 1, day 2, like that. So whatever we say, do it on day 1, just do that much only. Then day 2,
Okay.
like that. Okay. So it is same as if we would do that one-on-one with you, but we are not doing one-on-one with you.
Right.
It's more cost effective that way, because personal coaching is expensive and not everyone is able to afford it. However, we always recommend that if you can afford it, there is no replacement of one-on-one coaching, because one-on-one coaching is more fluid. Right. So when you are talking to someone, more things come up, and then the conversations can go in that way. But a journey is already set, so it's not that fluid. So you have to just follow the steps. But again, it's a good start. So our subscription starts at $295 a month.
Okay.
And there are plenty of journeys over there that you can take.
Okay.
But for you, I will say, take that journey of attachment styles. Take a 1 month or 3 month subscription, and just take that journey and figure these things out. Sit with yourself. That will tell you what kind of questions you have to answer. Everything is laid out. You just have to follow. That's all. Just spend 30 minutes a day and do it. And then by the end of 21 days, see where you reach, and see if you can get the answer of what this setup was trying to teach you. Why you attracted this kind of relationship, why you fell in this kind of relationship. And until you figure that out and you dissolve it, there's a very good chance that maybe this will finish, but then you might go into a new relationship and you will repeat the whole process all over again.
Which
Very
I
good
don't
chance
want
of
to.
that.
Yeah, which I don't want to. I mean, like, which I
Yeah.
mean,
So
nobody, nobody
one
wants
thing
to
will
go.
happen, that many people, they either get too scared to go in a relationship
Yes,
after
that's
that.
me. That's me. Yeah, that's me.
So then that is also not healthy, because you still carrying the wounds. It's not gone anywhere, but you're not just hiding. एक कमरे में बैठ के डोर बंद कर लिया है बस, तो वो भी अनहेल्दी है. और अगर wounds लेके दूसरी रिलेशनशिप में गए, वो भी अनहेल्दी है. You will just repeat the whole thing all over again over there. So life brings us to a point where the only thing that we have to do is sit and answer these questions. Someone has to ask the hard questions, and you have to answer. So your journeys le lo, it's very simple. 95 a month, or 3 months is 799. And subscribe to them. There's a lot of meditations. Namika has created guided meditations, subliminals. There's assessments, e-learning journeys. A lot of content is there. Subscription gives you access to everything. So आप जब join करोगे, तो forget about all the content. Just ignore all the content over there and start with the attachment style journey. So
Yes.
just take that for now, and
Sure,
that will help
Akarma.
you to
Yes.
get this answer.
Yes, definitely. I will, have a look at that. I mean, yeah, thank you so much for guiding me,
बिना
because
गाइडेंस के नहीं होता
yeah,
है ये
नहीं हो
सब.
सकता है,
आई
yeah.
नो दिस, क्योंकि ये हम सिर्फ इसलिए नहीं बोल रहे क्योंकि हम ये काम करते हैं इसलिए हमको ये बताना है, पर
हाँ.
हमने भी अपनी जर्नी गाइडेंस में ही की है.
Yes.
तो हम आप लोगों की हेल्प कर पा रहे हैं क्योंकि हम गाइड कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम
Yeah.
एक्सटर्नल हैं, हम देख रहे हैं. लेकिन जब
Right.
हम किसी प्रॉब्लम में फंसे होते हैं तो
नहीं
हम
देख
थोड़ी
पाते
अपनी
हैं.
ब्रेन सर्जरी खुद
Yeah.
करते हैं, तब हम भी
नहीं.
अपने मास्टर्स, अपने गुरुज को अप्रोच करते हैं.
Yeah.
तो
And I just want to be like, Akarma, like whatever has happened, so firstly, like nobody wants to be in pain, but certain incidents hum chal rahe hain, hamara accident ho gaya, but hum life, like we have to go ahead on that life journey,
Yeah.
But my only motto is, like I want to heal, I want to be a happy person, my main focus is my child. So, my entire energies are focused on him. I just don't want to pretend smiling, because each day I have to put on a lot of effort, because
lot
to
of
put on
effort.
that smile,
It
yeah.
feels safe
So,
also. You don't feel
yeah.
good about yourself because you
So
have to
it's,
put up
yeah.
this drama every day.
Yeah, so it's exhausting also, I mean, like externally भी जो आपके चारों तरफ चल रहा है कुछ, and like so there are a lot of questions which you want, but then हम ऐसे आगे जा रहे हैं, 9 to 9 वाला job कर रहे हैं, but because you have responsibilities also, right? Yeah, but it's draining and exhausting for me, but I just want to feel
Yes.
good.
It is draining, and many people say this कि time is the healer. I don't believe
हाँ,
in
no,
this
it is
thing.
not.
Time
Yeah,
is not
no,
a
it
healer.
is.
आपने अगर कुछ नहीं किया है तो time heal नहीं करता है. Time is only
Yeah.
going to make things worse. The wounds
Yes.
are only going to get infected more.
Yeah,
हाँ,
so we could,
आप ना
yeah.
इलाज कर रहे हो और फिर ये बोल रहे हो कि हाँ टाइम लगेगा. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि आपने कुछ मेडिसिन लेना शुरू किया, आपने इलाज करना शुरू किया तो टाइम लगेगा उसको रिकवर होने में, देन आई कैन गेट इट. बट हम कुछ कर रहे नहीं है और हम ये बोल रहे टाइम इज द हीलर, टाइम इज द हीलर. दैट्स जस्ट बुलशिट.
Yeah, so you know how the world is, no? They say, oh, it's 4.5 years, you are not over it. Like, the world will also judge you. They say, oh, it's 4.5 years, you're still, your case is going on. And they feel like we are, like, holding on to it, like onto the past, but I mean, I don't know. There's so much, to learn, to forgive, to let go of the past. But the haunts you, it
होता नहीं है
haunts
ना,
you in
ऐसा
the,
थोड़ी है.
हाँ, नहीं हो
ये सब
पाता है ना,
जानबाजी वाली बातें नहीं
हाँ,
होती.
नहीं, the world
लोग
will judge you. Everybody will, So there are times, you have stressful days. There were times when I couldn't sleep. I struggled to sleep. I just literally pray and cry that God, please get me some sleep. I'm sleeping at 4 and 5,
and
but
this is exactly how mother wounds gets passed to kids. So whatever state you are in, your child is looking at you that way and all that. Now this is exactly what we call mother wounds. तो आपने अपने पेरेंट्स से इनहेरिट किए होंगे, आपके बच्चे आपसे इनहेरिट कर रहे हैं ये चीज से.
Okay, no, I wouldn't want that to happen. I would do everything possible to, rectify the situation, whether it's a karmic debt or whatever good I can do. But of course, I want to ensure and, raise a very happy child, So that's like my first and last priority, as of now from ahead, So yes, hence I probably try and figure out, looking for my answers here and there. I try to do some meditation, follow some gurus. पर ऐसे होता है ना कि 50 वीडियो देखते हैं फिर एक 5 practically, because it's very difficult, it's the human mind, we are so stubborn, मतलब कुछ चीजें जाती ही नहीं है सर में. People say forgive that person, so even if I have to close my eyes and imagine my ex standing in front of me and even say that word that I forgive you for what you did, so I think that मैंने तो कुछ गलत किया ही नहीं, the other person did wrong, so it's like so tough, Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Akarma. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problems. See, one thing as a blanket statement. Sorry, just Anamika, I just wanted to say one thing.
Please go ahead.
As a blanket statement for all cases that we have heard here or that we have not heard as well, and many people will be listening to these recordings later on as well. One blanket statement that I want to say is that ये बात जो मैं बोलूंगा वो अगर समझ में आएगी तो अच्छा है, नहीं आएगी तो कोई बात नहीं. लाइक डोंट फोर्स योरसेल्फ टू अंडरस्टैंड इट, बट अंडरस्टैंड कि जिस दिन आएगी ना उस दिन ये चीज क्लिक समझ में आ जाएगी. व्हाट आई एम सेइंग कि एक लाइफ में आप जब अपनी हीलिंग कंप्लीट कर लेते हो, जो आपको करना है, जो लेसन आपको सीखने हैं, जब आप वो कंप्लीट कर लेते हो ना, You will reach a point where you will look back at these incidents and you will see कि ये सब जो बातें थी ना, forgive that person, forget, ये सब bullshit लगेंगी, because there is nothing to forgive anyone. Actually, you would feel more thankful and gratitude towards the villains in your life.
Yes, I want
ये
to reach
बातें
there.
अभी
I
शायद
want to
नहीं
reach.
समझ में आए, लेकिन जब आप वो अपनी जर्नी को कंप्लीट कर लोगे ना, आपको जो मिलेगा ना उसको कंप्लीट करके, उसके लिए आपके मुंह से ग्रेटिट्यूड के अलावा और कुछ निकल ही नहीं सकता है, क्योंकि ये विलन्स ही थे जिनकी वजह से आपकी ये जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई, आप ट्रिगर हुए, आप यहाँ तक पहुंचे, और वो जर्नी कंप्लीट करके आपको जो मिल जाएगा वो आपकी लाइफ में जो आपके हीरोज है ना उनसे कभी नहीं मिलने वाला था. तो दैट होल थॉट अराउंड forgive, forget, let go, accept, इन सब से ऊपर उठ जाओगे. Nothing to be, nothing to accept, reject here, nothing to approve, nothing to forgive, nothing to forget. इन ये सारे क्वेश्चन, ये सारी चीजें डिसॉल्व हो जाएंगी. जिस दिन वो चीज कनेक्ट हो गई ना, जिस दिन वो वुंड हील हो गया, उस दिन आप उस इंसान को अपना बेस्ट फ्रेंड ही समझोगे कि आई नाउ गेट इट कि व्हाई दिस सेटअप वाज देयर फॉर मी. आई नाउ गेट इट कि ये इंसान मेरी लाइफ में क्यों आया और क्या ये सिचुएशन मुझे क्या बताना चाह रही थी, कैसे इवॉल्व करना चाह रही थी. वेयर यू विल रीच, यू विल हैव नथिंग बट एक्चुअली टू बी थैंकफुल ओनली. तो वो पॉइंट पे अगर पहुंच जाओ तो समझ लो कि हीलिंग कंप्लीट हो गई. That's it from myself.
Thanks, Akarma. So it's past 6:30. 6:30. Yes, Tuti, anything you want to ask?
Yeah, so I wanted to send a lot of love to Pramosh, and I wanted to tell her that even I had faced the same situation where I caught my husband cheating me multiple times. Every time I forgave, every time again the same thing happened, to reach to an extent where, it was a long journey again for me. The same situation that she's saying, that I would beg God to give me some sleep in the night, entire night. I had medicine, sleeping pills, still I couldn't sleep. Entire night I was crying, and everything. I didn't know why everything was happening to me. So just from my experience, I'm trying to tell you, Pramosh, is that yeah, definitely what Akarma says, I totally agree with him. I healed myself on my own. I definitely am looking forward to again tying up with you guys for a better healing. But I think I can connect with you personally to at least share my experience. You may want to pick up something if that helps you by any chance. That's it. Thank you.
Lots of
Thank
love
you.
to promotions, Tuti. And thank you so much, Anamika and Akarma. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you, Stuti. Thanks so much. Yeah, at time. Yeah. Thanks. Just thanks to Akarma and Apurva. Anamika, sorry. I'm so sorry, Anamika.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's totally okay. So thanks, Tuti. That actually matters a lot. Yes. So before we close the session today, as we are already a little late. So how we work and any work, healing work, inner work that you're going to do, these three things are going to be there. So we make it a three-step process, and all these three steps are necessary to complete the process. And the first step in this case, also in today's topic, how to deal with karmic relationships. So the first step is always becoming aware, working on your awareness levels, where you are right now, what's going on within, not just outside but inside, right? So becoming aware. The second thing is, just a moment. Hello. Oh my God, I was speaking and I guess I was on mute for so long.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh boy.
You were on
I'm
mute.
Oh,
And
I'm
we were,
so
I was
sorry.
wondering either the meeting has got ended, or I was just wondering maybe I was checking my microphone.
Oh God. I was on mute and I was talking for so long.
Yeah, we thought
Oh
you
God.
put the call on hold or something.
You can repeat
Yeah,
it.
yes, I will repeat. So it's a 3-step process. The first step is awareness, of course, becoming aware of inside and outside, what's exactly going on, and what's especially going on within me. So, what are my triggers? Why do I behave the way I behave? Bringing awareness to your wounds and triggers and everything. Like the one good question to always ask yourself is, what is this setup? What is this situation trying to teach me? So, what could be my lesson? Bringing awareness to that. The second step is to now use the tools and techniques and all the help available and making efforts to actually change it, to actually do something about it, to do the healing process within, right? So, you have to first do it. Let's suppose acceptance, self love, maybe forgiveness. Somebody was talking. So, different things, different tools and techniques for different people depending upon what their situation is. Now, this is the work that we have done inside, and we now feel that, okay, I have done enough. I have done enough contemplation. I have gone deep down within. I have figured out, okay, this is what it is. This is why it was happening. And I'm more trusting. I have a better self worth. But the process is still not complete because you don't know if it is true or not. So, for that reason, the third step, a very important step, is to apply, is to take action, is to go out in the world and whatever lessons you have learned within, sharing those lessons and dealing and reacting and seeing if my responses have changed, if I have changed, if I have started dealing differently, how my actions differ before healing and after healing. So that is a real check if we have actually worked on ourselves or not. So even if we keep doing this work for like tens and twenties and decades, right? But if we are not able to take any actions and our actions are the same, then probably we are not going anywhere. So as an outcome, the actions always change and evolve, and our responses are very different because our space changes when we heal ourselves. The space, which was of fear, the space becomes a space of love, right? Because our energy has shifted. We have cleansed all the emotions. इतना भरा हुआ जो था इतने सालों का, the baggage इतना heavy जो हम feel कर, we are lighter. बहुत सारी चीजें छोड़ देते हैं जो unnecessary, कितने सालों से we are holding on, पकड़ के जोर से, इतनी जोर से पकड़ कर रखते हैं, बट इन दिस हीलिंग प्रोसेस वो छूट जाती हैं, एंड जब वो छूट जाती हैं, वी आर लाइट, देन आवर रिस्पॉन्सेस चेंज ड्रास्टिकली. क्योंकि फिर हम जो इतना अपने लिए जजमेंट था, द सेम जजमेंट वी वर प्रोजेक्टिंग ऑन अदर्स, वो जजमेंट ही खत्म हो गया. देन व्हाट्स द फाइट, राइट? सो this is the 3-step process. And while healing the karmic relationship or dealing with it, getting out of it, the process is the same. This is the process, right? And seeing what do I need to do in this situation and in this relationship? What are the lessons I am supposed to learn, right? And if I am delaying to learn those lessons, because there are so many people, and this is very common in karmic relationships, people realize something is wrong, people see the red flags. The problem with karmic relationships is that they are codependent in nature. It's so hard to actually get out because वो बहुत familiar लगते हैं, अपनापन लगता है, because obviously you have spent long ages with them, the same drama and conflict. So it's really hard to actually believe कि this is not love and this is codependency, right? तो believe करने में time लगता है, but for this, this is where we need to bring more awareness कि the person who is holding me onto this relationship is me, and the actual lesson which I need to learn in a karmic relationship is to get over my codependency, right? हाँ, dependency होगी on humans, right? But that doesn't come from the space of fear. It comes from the space of love. Can you do something for me? I need this. Can you give it to me? That is the space of love. Not the space that, oh my God, if I don't get this, where am I going to go? I'll be abandoned. I'll be left alone. That's the space of fear. So in karmic relationships, that is the trouble. And probably all the people who are here, if you have a karmic relationship, this is the awareness you need to bring, and a good question to ask yourself. Am I aware that this is a karmic codependent relationship? And why am I stopping myself from getting out of this relationship or making the amends which are required? What are my fears? What are my triggers? What am I afraid to see or learn? Right? So these are very good questions to ask when you are in this setup. So that's all I could remember, and we will continue this conversation in the next session. The topic will be on twin flames. We'll be talking more on twin flames.
Anamika, can I
Please,
ask?
Neela. Yes.
So the questions which you are saying, it's really important to ask these questions whether you are in a karmic relationship. Can you please put these questions in the group?
Sure, Neela.
Yeah, thank you.
They will be in the recording also. This call is getting recorded anyway.
Okay.
We'll be sharing the recording in the YouTube channel very soon. So you can all again go through it and, contemplate on the pointers.
Okay, sure.
Anybody wants to say anything, Akarma, anything to add? Then we'll wrap up the call.
Nothing from us.
Okay. Cool then. It was very nice meeting all of you. So please join next week. We'll be continuing this conversation. Yeah, Pramosh, Stuti, anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, thank you so much for this session. It's really so helping Akarma and Anamika. There's so many things which are inside us, and we don't find a right forum to, discuss and have like-minded people. And it's really so lovely, when you hear people, you actually feel you're not alone in this kind of journey. There are people having more troublesome journeys than you, some having, lesser ones. But then, you feel so connected with people. That's what. So thank you so much again.
Yes, thank you, Stuti. We're glad that, we have you with us. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great
Thank
week.
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a great evening.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.